Madam Chairwoman, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, or in my religious dress gown, brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you all, His blessings and His mercy. There is not any time in which we need to speak about peace and reconciliation and freedom of religion more than this time, where we see on a world level and in my own country clashes leading to the instability in several parts of the world and to the radicalization of a whole nation or few nations in the Middle East. This is why I would like to express my deepest thanks to the organizers of this conference, and this is the International Association for the Defense of Religious Liberty and for the Undersecretary Office for the Prevention of Genocides and the Protection of Human Life. Ladies and gentlemen, Islam is being used, as many other religions, to exterminate lives, to justify the killing of innocent people. We should never allow this. A beautiful quote I would like to mention, which is included in my book Refuting ISIS, page 9, by a famous jurist and theologian from the 13th century, Common Era, Ibn al-Qayyim. He says, any ruling or religious teaching that you find within Islam that contradicts mercy, wisdom, protection, preservation of life does not belong to Islam, can never be the teachings of God. It is human insertion. It is the interpretation or misinterpretation of humans into the religious teachings. This is why it's very important here that we recognize our role. Unfortunately, a lot of religious leaders follow the public opinion, which is based on emotions, which is provoked by the daily news of clashes or injustices. And this is very wrong. We have the responsibility to change the current situation and lead our people to working together. I would like to give you an example, not talking about the whole world, just an example from my own city where I grew up in Damascus. The Grand Umayyad Mosque is in the center of the ancient city of Damascus. When I was young, my father was an instructor and imam of the Grand Umayyad Mosque. So was my grandfather and few of my family before. So I grew up around the mosque, running in its yards, and the shopping and the socialization was with the people around the mosque. In that region, in that very small area with half a mile around the Grand Umayyad Mosque, lived there the Christian community, the Jewish community, and the Shiite community. It's within 200 meters walk to move just from one quarter to the second quarter. I grew up with representatives of religious communities coming to visit my father on Eid occasions, or my father visiting them on Eid occasions, or exchanging solace and support, sympathy on several other occasions, such as funerals and other political or religious days. There was no tension. We weren't taught that these were our enemies. We had to work together. This respect, this harmony together is lost now in Syria. Together with several communities, we formed like a symphony. The symphony lasted 14 centuries before. When we read our history, the golden days of the Abbasids witnessed much more tolerance than what we witness today in some parts of the Muslim world. When the physicians of the Caliph Harun al-Rashid were from the very famous Christian physician Christian family of physicians, Jibra'il bin Bakhtishu'. The most famous, one of the most famous saints in Islamic history, Sufyan al-Thawri, died year 777. This is 150 years after Prophet Muhammad's death, peace be upon him. And this is during the era which witnessed the formation of the 4 Sunni schools. Sufyan al-Thawri fell ill. He wanted doctors, physicians to treat him, to look at his case. He did not choose Muslim physicians based on their religion. He chose Jewish physicians based on their excellence in their profession, and had 2 Jewish doctors visiting him. Not only that, after they left, one of his disciples turned to him and said, "Which one of the 2 Jewish physicians is better than the other?" He said, "I would not backbite them, speak ill behind their backs." Where are these images? They are now buried in the legacy of our history. Instead, people are digging out, I'm talking here about Muslim figures, misleading their people, digging out for differences or points of tension. We have a wealth of common history together, freedom of religion, tolerance towards us, between Muslim sects and the groups, and between Muslims and non-Muslims together. It's not far from us to remember the Maimonides and Moses, the Maimonides in Andalusia. It's not far-fetched to remember the history of the Ottomans and the welcoming of both the Jewish and the Muslims when they escaped from Spain. This is why, brothers and sisters, we need to work together and put our hands together to establish, find new elements to bring our peoples to a better level of understanding. The Syrian people are being radicalized nowadays, and the moderate powers are being now marginalized. And if we don't work on this current situation, the status quo in Syria, in a very emergent way, we might find the whole nation being radicalized, brainwashed. And I urge every country and the United Nations and every organization to save the Syrian people from a very dim future where they are pushed to their limits and being used without them understanding the end of it. We have to live together. We represent God on the face of earth, and God is mercy, God is love, and God is peace. So let us work together to achieve these goals. Thank you.